This video is about green, my 1978 Datsun 620 Kingcab 4x4 with the KA swap. I got this truck from my buddy Jeff. Icehouse 510 on the forums. And this truck was the original KA swap he did back in the day. It was two-wheel drive. And then him and another friend of ours, Frank, took the body from that truck and the KA and put it onto this four-wheel drive chassis. Which is pretty cool. I had to do a lot of work to it to make it safe and drivable. It had the original Dana 30 in the front, and the steering was pretty messed up. I'll get some pictures of that. Now it's got a Dana 44 from a Jeep Wagoneer, and it's got 488 gears in it with a Eaton e-locker. The original Dana 30 came with these nice high top 44 knuckles, so I kept those and got some arms machined for the high steer, which these arms are actually made of titanium because the guy had machining the originals messed them up and then decided to make them out of titanium for me, so that's cool. But yeah, it has crossover steering, high steer, and then I'm using the Toyota steering box. This is a V6 box, and it is run off of the KA power steering pump from the D21. And I am using Wagoneer 2-inch lift springs in the front and custom shackles. I built a custom cross member up here. I'll add some pictures to show how I did that. But it's essentially an angle with the bushings and everything mounted to that, and then that's tied into the front cross member of the truck. And then you can see I tied the bumper into that, as well as the factory bumper mounts, so that's pretty strong. It's been tested many times now. Let's go look at the back. The rear axle is a Toyota 4Runner rear with a factory Toyota e-locker, and it's got a bit of armor on it, protected up. And these are trail gear lift springs. I'll have to get the specs. I essentially bought a bunch of stuff from Trail Gear for a Toyota to lift it, like a leaf spring mount kit. And then I have the orbital bushings here at the top. I have my shocks mounted up high in the back. That actually works pretty good. You can see I use a lot of the travel of the shock. In fact, I use almost all the travel of all four shocks when I'm bouncing it around in places. A set of 35 Goodyear Wrangler MTRs, the Kevlars, and these are a really good tire. I like them. I've run a few other tires, and these are one of the better tires I've run. And there's Popper. Hi, Popper. I've got onboard air and the pumps back there. I don't know if you can see it. Also have the high lift in the back. Because you may have seen in the last video. It's much quieter now. It used to rattle pretty bad. Drive me insane. Got some new knobs for the securement. Other important bits, we got the 725 speed right there, and that is tied via a, I can't think of a bad enough word for that, but it seems to work, and it goes to this here Datsun transfer case, which it also leaks a bit, but I don't count that because these all leak and I don't know if anybody can get them to stop leaking, so I don't really count that one. Yeah, it's got a custom cross member here. I can put some pictures of that up. Stainless exhaust all the way back. I really enjoyed putting that together. And let's go look under the hood. There's the KA in there. We got the stainless header. You can see the power steering down there maybe. And the pump is right there. It's hooked up in here. As you can see, there is not a ton of room, and that's for various reasons in this truck, because it has a body lift and various other things going on. It's not the same as any other 620. I suppose I should mention that it does have a body lift. You can see the aluminum spacers there for the body lift that Jeff put in it. Get it up a little bit. And then we got some Bilstein shocks all the way around. Anyway, so yeah, there's the KA. That's all up in there. And you know, we got the alarm, so don't be thinking nothing. And then all the wiring is all over here. Well, some of the wiring, you can see by the labels what they are. Obligatory Japanese beer can for overflow. Aluminum radiator, one electric fan out here, one electric fan in here, winch controller up under the hood, and I should probably mention that the winch is nicely tucked up in here. I'll get some pictures of the bumper. And this brace here runs across to both shock towers. Looking at the interior, I got my ECU and the rest of my relays all run under here. And this is all auxiliary stuff for the KA and the push button start and the lights, of which I have internal lights in here. And those are nice at night. I got a couple switch panels there. Those are in a bad spot. Same with the ones on the other side. Gonna eventually come up with something else for those, but for now, that's where they're at. I'm gonna come in and take a look at the driver's side. We got the 720 steering wheel, ST, with the optional missing chunks, which we're going to talk about in another video. I got a new wheel. It still has the leather, so I'm going to see about redoing the wheel. And then the seats are from a Oldsmobile Bravada, and they fit in here pretty nice. Rats and shift knob. Twin stick shifter, so that's right now we're in rear wheel drive and high range, so this lever will control the rear and this one controls the front. That way would put it into high range, and that way would put it into low range. And that's all cable actuated. So those run down here and shift those cables. You can see the back leaf spring mount tied into the body mount and the frame, as well as the shock mount and the rock slider and the lights. And then the rock slider ties in all the way back. And there's my custom wheel flares from when I overloaded the bed and went over a big hump off road. That was great. If you have any questions, post up in the comments. I've had a few guys hit me up, so that's why this video is getting made. I think I got everything. I don't know. Get yourself a Kingcab 4x4. They're awesome.